South African politics right now is like the most dramatic family reunion you've ever seen, and at the center of it all is the African National Congress, or the ANC. For 30 years, this was the party that ran everything. They were the undisputed champions, the political heavyweights. They helped end apartheid, gave the world Nelson Mandela, and held a firm grip on power. But fast forward to today, September 13th, 2025, and things have gotten messy. The ANC is no longer the unbeatable force it once was. It's like a legendary rock band that's been on tour for too long, and now the members are starting to fight over who gets the last slice of pizza. The trouble really hit the fan during the May 2024 elections. For the first time since 1994, the ANC lost its majority. Its support dropped to just over 40%. That's a huge deal. It's like Michael Jordan suddenly not being able to dunk. The party that once symbolized freedom and unity for so many South Africans is now bleeding support. Why? Well, there are a lot of reasons. People are tired of corruption scandals, the economy isn't great, and the lights keep going out. Literally. The internal fighting has become so bad that the party looks less like a government and more like a reality TV show. This loss forced the ANC to do something it had never done before: share power. They had to form a coalition government, called a Government of National Unity, or GNU, with other parties, including their longtime rivals, the Democratic Alliance. Imagine your favorite sports team having to team up with the team you've hated your entire life just to stay in the league. It's awkward, it's tense, and it shows just how much the political landscape has shifted. The ANC's internal conflicts are no longer just a family spat. They are now playing out on the national stage with everyone watching. The party is split down the middle. On one side you have President Cyril Ramaphosa and his supporters, who are trying to steer the ship towards the center and work with the new coalition partners. On the other side, you have a more populist faction that is deeply unhappy with this new arrangement. They see it as a betrayal of the party's revolutionary roots. This division has created a massive power vacuum, leaving many to wonder who is actually in charge. And into this chaos, a familiar face has made a spectacular, almost unbelievable comeback, and his name is Jacob Zuma. So, who is Jacob Zuma? Oh, where do I even begin? For many, he's the charismatic leader who sings and dances his way into people's hearts. For others, he's the man at the center of countless controversies. He was the president of South Africa from 2009 to 2018, and his time in office was, to put it mildly, eventful. He has this incredible ability to survive scandals that would sink any other politician. They call him the Teflon president because nothing ever seems to stick. Corruption charges? He brushes them off. Legal battles? He treats them like a minor inconvenience. It's truly something to behold. His presidency was shadowed by allegations of state capture, which is just a fancy term for when private interests basically buy influence over the government. There were scandals involving wealthy families, shady arms deals from the 90s, and using taxpayer money for upgrades to his private home. Eventually, the pressure became too much, and his own party, the ANC, forced him to resign in 2018. Then, in 2021, he was sentenced to jail for refusing to testify at a corruption inquiry, which led to widespread protests and riots. You'd think that would be the end of his political career, right? Well, you'd be wrong. Despite all this, Zuma has a massive and loyal following. How is this possible? It's because he's a master populist. He positions himself as a man of the people, a champion for the poor and marginalized, and a proud Zulu traditionalist. In his home province of KwaZulu-Natal, he's more than a politician. He's a father figure, affectionately called Ubaba. He speaks a language that resonates with millions of South Africans who feel left behind by the political elite in the cities. He tells them he's one of them, and that he's being persecuted by his enemies for trying to help them. This narrative is powerful. It turns his legal troubles into a political witch hunt. His supporters don't see a corrupt ex-president. They see a hero fighting against a system that is rigged against them. He taps into a deep well of frustration and makes people feel seen and heard. It's a political strategy that has worked for populists all over the world, from Donald Trump in the US to others across the globe. By casting himself as the ultimate outsider, even after running the country for 9 years, he has built a base of support that is fiercely loyal and ready to follow him anywhere. Just when everyone thought Jacob Zuma was out of the game, he pulled off his biggest magic trick yet. In December 2023, He announced he was backing a brand new political party, Umkhonto we Sizwe, or MK for short. Now that name is a big deal. It was the name of the ANC's armed wing during the fight against apartheid. So, by taking that name, Zuma was essentially saying, I am the real heir to the liberation struggle, not the current ANC. It was a bold move, a direct challenge to his old comrades, and it worked better than anyone could have imagined. The MK party exploded onto the political scene. In the May 2024 elections, just a few months after it was launched, it won a stunning 14.6% of the national vote. This made it the third largest party in the country overnight. In Zuma's home province of KwaZulu-Natal, it became the biggest party, winning a massive 45.3% of the vote. The ANC, which used to dominate the region, was left in the dust. The MK party became a magnet for disgruntled ANC supporters who felt the party had lost its way and abandoned its promises of radical economic transformation. It wasn't just voters who flocked to MK. The party also started attracting high-profile politicians from other opposition parties, particularly the Economic Freedom Fighters, which itself was an ANC offshoot. In a major shock, top EFF leaders like Dali Mpofu and Floyd Shivambu defected to MK in late 2024, calling it the new home for black and progressive unity. These were big names, individuals who had helped build the EFF into a major political force. Their departure weakened the EFF and signaled that MK was becoming the main vehicle for radical politics in South Africa. The MK party's platform is simple and powerful. It promises radical economic change like media group Zuma or MK leaders speaking about land reform, MK manifesto pamphlet on land expropriation, protest for land reform in South Africa at its stock, distribute_equally, seizing land without compensation, and nationalizing mines and banks. These are ideas that have been part of the political debate for years, but have never been fully implemented by the ANC. For many South Africans struggling with poverty and inequality, these promises are incredibly appealing. The MK party represents a break from the status quo, a chance to shake things up. It channels the anger and frustration of millions into a new political movement, with the ultimate comeback kid, Jacob Zuma, leading the charge. So, what does all of this mean for South Africa? The country is standing at a major crossroads, and no one is quite sure which path it will take. Jacob Zuma's comeback has completely upended the political order. It has weakened his old party, the ANC, possibly beyond repair, and has created a powerful new populist force that could reshape the nation's future. The Government of National Unity, that shaky alliance between the ANC and the DA, is walking on a tightrope. Its stability is seen as crucial for the economy, but it's deeply unpopular with a large chunk of the population. The big question now is about the future of the ANC itself. President Ramaphosa's term as party leader is set to end in 2027, and a power struggle is already underway to replace him. Some potential successors, like Paul Mashatile, might try to continue the current centrist path. But others, like the populist Panyaza Lesufi, are openly critical of the coalition with the DA. There's a very real possibility that the ANC could abandon its new partners and seek a reunion with Zuma's MK party. An ANC-MK alliance would create a populist powerhouse, but it could also spook investors and damage the country's fragile economy. Zuma's return is a double-edged sword for the ANC. On one hand, it's a disaster. He has siphoned off millions of their voters and exposed the party's deep divisions for all to see. On the other hand, he represents a huge base of support that the ANC desperately needs to win back if it ever hopes to regain its majority. His comeback forces the party to confront a difficult choice. Do they continue down a path of moderate, coalition-based politics, or do they swing back to the radical, populist rhetoric that Zuma has mastered so effectively? For ordinary South Africans, the future is more uncertain than ever. Will the current government hold, bringing stability and maybe some slow economic growth? Or will the country pivot towards a more radical, populist future driven by Zuma and his allies? It feels like the nation is holding its breath, waiting for the next episode of this political drama to unfold. One thing is for sure, after decades of being dominated by one party, South African politics has suddenly become unpredictable, volatile, and incredibly interesting. The question is the country ready for another round of Zuma-style politics? We'll have to wait and see.